We are live here on SRL TV for the SRL Mines Grand Final between the South Melbourne Firehawks and the Sunshine Coast Swarm. Been a 3-week season where the Firehawks have absolutely dominated. They have not been defeated once, and they have dominated their opponents in every single match, winning by, I think, 10 points each time. The Swarm, on the other hand, their only loss has come to these very Firehawks that are running out right now. My name is Jack Carl, and joining me in the commentary box is Lachlan Martin. How you doing, Lachlan?
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting match, this one. The Swarm, they're looking to get vengeance against the Firehawks, who dominated them earlier in the season. All these players looking for a shot to get into the SRL next season, playing in a reserve grade competition, because they stand for the national anthem here. It's going to be a good game. I think the Swarm will be up for this one. The Firehawks looking to continue their red-hot form this season, as we get into what should be an amazing game. I'm really looking forward to this one, Jack.
Yeah, I am too. I think this is going to be an absolute blockbuster. I mentioned the 10 points thing earlier. Their actual their lowest winning margin, is 7 points. Even so, that is highly impressive that's their lowest winning margin in a match type that you don't really score too many points. As Alan Berkeley will get us underway here for the grand final. Both teams are going to be pumped. The Firehawks, can they complete it? Christian McKay, beautiful first run. There's a lot of space in this nines format. What do you think both teams need to do to capitalize?
Yeah, look, both teams are really good at sort of evening their spacing out. So I think the biggest gaps are going to be getting some of those bigger players. You know, McKay over there, sort of just going up the middle, sort of just finding those gaps up the middle, rather than on the outsides. I think both teams defensively are pretty good on the outside, but I think in the middle is where they could be fine wanting. I think that's where they need to go for most of this game.
I think you've nailed it, as Tapua, with a great run straight up the middle, he's going to push his way over past the 10-meter line. The Swarm with their first attacking chance. Could they put some points on the board? Lakiu out to Dylan Sharp. He's absolutely folded by Milo Kerrigan. Out to Tapua. He puts the grubber kick in. It's way too deep. There's no chasers, and that's a disappointing end to the set there from the Swarm.
Yeah, not sure that kick was needed there. Hemi Tapua probably could have just taken a line on there himself. He would have had more chance of scoring than that kick. Had way too much on it. And I think he'll be very disappointed with that kick.
Yeah, well, Tapua and this man himself, Pongston, they're both very, very good players. They play very well so far. And I think both of them are going to go in the first round. Do you agree on that? I think there's a good chance they go round one.
Yeah, I think especially Ponks, though, as you mentioned there, is a very, very strong candidate for even the player of the season, to be honest, from the Mines. I think he's been very strong in this entire season. I think a couple clubs, I think the Knights might even look at picking him for the first pick of the entire draft. It's going to be very interesting to see where he goes, and I think Ponks is someone to keep an eye on in this match.
Yeah, I'd agree. This match definitely is a big help towards their draft picks as Berkeley loses the ball. Disappointing end again to a set. Yeah, I think this is going to be a big match for both sets of players to prove how they do in big game situations. I mean, so far it's just been a regular reserve grade competition, but if a few players can stand up and really take the moment on and make it their own, I think that could go a long way to proving how good they are.
Yeah, I have to agree there. You know, the Firehawks, they're a very, very strong team, but I wouldn't say they're unbeatable. They've had a couple close moments in a few of their matches, although they've still managed to win by pretty decent margins in the end. So they've got a challenge here, but I think they're definitely going to stand up to it tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The Swarm now, with another chance. It's not as close as their last one, but it'll go to Tapua, who puts in another kick. The last one was a bit too deep. That one was a bit wonky. He's going to need to get on his kicking game relatively soon. Dylan Murray with a good kick return there. As Pongston tries to take it up the middle, he's monstered there by that man I was just talking about, Hemi Tapua. As I go to the right-hand side, the short side, Dylan Murray with another run. Takes the second of the set. Alan Berkeley into dummy half. He'll send it out to Justin Monkey, playing in the number 9, not getting very involved. It's a good run there from him, though. He'll go to Hell Yeah. He looked to feign a kick. Instead, he takes the line on and throws an intercept. The Swarm with a brilliant opportunity now.
That was a poor play there by the Firehawks. Not sure exactly what he was doing there. He sort of just threw the dummy, but decided to go anyway. But by that point, they already had the Swarm players up in his face. Not the right decision there by the Firehawks.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. And the Swarm now with a chance to execute and take that opportunity. Philly with a great run through the middle. They'll go to Rossini. That's to McKay. He gets the offload to Tapua. Looked a little bit forward. The referee says it's flat. Rossini into dummy half. Tapua playing the ball. He's out of the equation for this one. As Aaron White sends it sky high, there's a chase coming through, and Milo Kerrigan is able to wrap that up, and he'll make a few extra meters on it.
Yeah, it was a decent kick in the end there by the Swarm. Not entirely sure who put the bomb up, but it was a decent tap back of Milo Kerrigan in the right place, right time there. And takes the ball comfortably there and gets a couple meters from it too. Last work there by Milo Kerrigan.
Certainly was, and this game's very end-to-end, as we see in the nines quite often. Or in the mines, rather. And Berkeley will send it out to the left, out to Joseph Jackson. He's been a bit quiet throughout this mines season, Joseph Jackson. Got to say, he's probably the weakest link in the team. But that's mainly just because we haven't seen a lot of him. But he'll want to get his hands on the ball today to try to prove in his final game that he is a great player. Hell yeah, sends it up with the bomb. Again, a tap back. Dom Pongston this time. It's great defense from the Swarm. Pongston is a deadly player, but they're able to wrap him up.
Yeah, great defense there. Tap back. Quite often you see those players just step through the line. We're quite comfortable in seeing that in the SRL. But the Mines players, they've watched a lot of the SRL. They're experienced with what those fullbacks like to do, stepping through off those tap backs, and Pongston gets wrapped up with pretty easily there.
Yeah, well, idolizing those SRL players, dreaming to get there one day. It's probably the number one play in the SRL playbook, and they read it brilliantly. Aaron White, good little run there with a step on the end of it, but he's wrapped up by Daniel Hellyer. Far Philly out to Hugh Snow. We'll take it up on the last. 48 meters gained in the set. Rossini to dummy half. It goes out to Tapua. It's a better kick this time, down to Dylan Murray. He puts one step on. He looks to beat the fullback, but's unable to. Bit of a holding pattern here. Do you fancy either side getting on? Which side do you fancy getting on the board first?
Oh look, I think the Firehawks probably making a little bit more meters per set. I think Milo Kerrigan, that just took a run up there. He's been getting quite a few meters early on here. The Storm are holding down defensively though, so I'm not sure who's going to take it first. It's definitely living up to the grand final so far. That's a brilliant pass there, but the defenders got there.
Yeah, great tackle on the big hulking monkey there as Kerrigan now, another good run, bumps off one, takes an extra 10 meters or so for his troubles, and this will be the last play. Berkeley, he's eyeing off Daniel Hellyer. That's exactly where it goes, and he just takes the line on. What was happening there? He didn't kick it.
Very poor play by Daniel Hellyer. I think he sort of might have thought the gap opened up for a second, but that was never the play. Took on the line there and went to find some sort of gap, and the gap just wasn't even there. Must have been daydreaming it or something, because it never existed in the first place.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a mixed bag game, Daniel Hellyer. He's had a few good kicks, but he's also had a few interesting decisions. He's going to need to sharpen up being their primary playmaker. If they want to win this game, Tapua is looking much better than him.
Yeah,
Dylan Sharp. Sorry for cutting you off. Dylan Sharp taking the ball up there. Just hanging on to him. And this will be the last play from the Swarm. Hugh Snow boots it down.
Oh no.
Down to Ben O'Donnell, and O'Donnell will take it into touch. That is disappointing.
Ben O'Donnell, you learn pretty quickly that you need to have sideline awareness in the SRL. He's not the first one to have done it in the SRL. In fact, many full-time players who are accustomed to the game do that quite often, but you don't want to be doing that in the grand final, Ben O'Donnell, and he'll have to learn quickly because that is a very poor play there by the Firehawks winger, and the Swarm will get a big opportunity here just before the break. Yeah, well, they've got 60 seconds-ish to execute a full set on the Firehawks line. Here goes close. Pulled down a few meters before the line. Aaron White goes in, and Aaron White scores. It was that easy. 2 plays, and the Swarm will take the lead. Yeah, brilliant run there by Aaron White. Just took on the line there. I don't think they were expecting him to get the ball. A short pass play there from the dummy half. position. I think they were looking at Hemi Tapua at the back, but instead they just went to him. I'm not entirely sure who that is that didn't make the tackle. Don Ponks comes it over the top to sort of finish it off, but he goes in, and the Swarm get score first, and the Firehawks, they won't be happy with that.
Yeah, they certainly won't, and Ben O'Donnell will not be happy with himself. That was a poor error, and it's led directly to a Swarm try. Tries, they don't come easy in this Mines format, and that is a very vital 6 points heading into the break for the Swarm. That could be the difference in this match already.
Yeah, well, you know, I hate to think of the consequences that mistake could have for Ben O'Donnell just personally, because obviously as a player, you know, the draft coming up soon might make captain second guess him, you know, choking on the big stage like that. You'd want to hope not, you know, you'd want to hope, because Ben O'Donnell, he does have tremendous skill, and you'd hope that maybe he could show it later on in this game with the draft so near.
I'd have to agree, and this will probably be the last play as the siren sounds in the background. You've been watching SRL TV. The Swarm lead the Firehawks 6 points to 0 in the grand final. We are live back in the second half of the SRL Mines Grand Final as Hemi Tapua places the ball on the tee. His team is up 6 points to 0 so far. Lachlan, what were your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, look, I thought it was pretty evenly matched, and in the end there was an error by Firehawks being up. We've already nailed it on the head and talked about this a little bit too much probably, but it was Ben O'Donnell. The error from him gave the Swarm the first try. There's still another half to go. Firehawks, we don't know how much strike power they have across the park pretty much. We don't want to hope from here they can at least pull on something before, you know, just they need to get this back into it. Another try definitely gets them back into it. They need to probably sooner rather than later though.
Yeah, well, I think that another try for the Swarm completely rules out a win for the Firehawks. They need to be the next to score. I think the next team that scores, I think with the Firehawks momentum, they would go on to win if they could just get 1 point or one try on the board. But if the Swarm score, then it's essentially game over. So next try scorer is very important. As an error there from Milo Carrigan just getting in the way, but he makes a little bit of something out of it. That was a poor end to the set, but Milo Carrigan, he managed to pick up an extra 15 meters there. A little bit of good scramble there from Carrigan.
Yeah, I think if you want to look for a way that the Firehawks sort of get back into this game, you know, I think they've got to sort of target the right shoulder as Hemi Tapua now up there. Of that man actually, Hemi Tapua, you know, he's bit of a story coming into the game, has a bit of a bunged up shoulder, playing through it for the grand final, as this could be bad for the Swarm, for the Firehawks, sorry.
Well, the Swarm, they're on the attack here. Christian McKay playing the ball. Rossini out to Philly. There's been a lot of conversation about how good he is, and I think he's gotten the ball down.
I think that's down. You said the next player to score is going to be the match winner right there. And Philly goes straight over there. Charging over one of the another popular player in the mines, Justin Monkey. It's going to be hard for the Firehawks to come back now, I think.
Yeah, well, that might just do it. Hemi Tapua with a chance to put his team 2 converted tries in front. I think the only way that the Firehawks could win this now is if Tapua misses this, but it's very close to the post, and I don't see it happening. I think this game is all but done. The Swarm, it's their game to lose now.
Yeah, well, look, there is 8 minutes left. We know the Firehawks can score points quickly. I'm not going to rule them out just yet. I think there's enough time for them to definitely put on some sort of attack. But I think a couple of forwards at the center. That man, Berkeley, I think if he can get our dummy half a bit, do some stuff, that would be great. I think just the Monkey has to get him hand on the ball now. He's so dangerous with ball in hand. You know, I think if he can get his hands on the ball more, it's better for the Firehawks. And I think they need to do that quickly.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I will point out a little stat. In their past 3 games, their only 3 games, the Firehawks, they have scored 14 points, 18 points, and 13 points. If they were to score their lowest total, they wouldn't win. So their previous scores would be enough to beat this Swarm outfit. They just need to get some points on the board quickly. I just don't know if they can do it. It'll be an interesting end to the game if they can get 1 try within the next minute or 2. It's a tough ask though, as the Swarm in good field position off that kick return set. Logan Schmidt.
I would like to point out something with the with this game mode. Obviously, if it's not, the mines rule set is slightly different to the regular, you know, SRL mines rule set that we use if the 9s tournament were to take place. The fact that the Firehawks in this game mode do get the ball at the kickoff could prove vital if they do want to come back. Obviously, if they score a try, it means they get the ball back. Where in a regular 9s rule set, that would mean that they would not get the ball back, and a penalty happens here. This could be big.
Oh yeah, it'll help them a lot. I think the Firehawks they need to score in this set, to be honest. Clock's ticking away. There's only 5 minutes left now. 5 minutes 15 seconds. So the clock is ticking. They'll need to score probably this set to give himself enough time. Alan Berkeley takes the tap 40 meters out from his own line. Dustin Richards with a good run. That'll help. He's hung onto there by Christian McKay, I think that is. Christian McKay, that is. Berkeley picks it up from dummy half, sends it out to Kerrigan. He'll need to touch the ball through the middle, I think. There's a lot of space there between the defenders of McKay and Hugh Snow. There's Daniel Hellier. Tries to take the line on himself. I don't know about that. He's tried to do it a few times and not really to much fruition. And Dom Pongston breaks away from 1, looking a little bit dangerous. The Firehawks, they're looking to spread to the right. Richards will go out to Kerrigan. He'll bump off 1. Just the fullback to beat. He's going to push his way over, but he's on his back. It's a good run from Kerrigan, but he's going to be held up.
Great
Firehawks now.
Great tackle.
Yeah, amazing tackle. Kerrigan is such a beast, and to get that tackle, that kick might be a bit too deep. It is Aaron White taking it with no contest. The only contest was there from Daniel Hellier, the man who put the kick in. And disappointing from the Firehawks. Very disappointing.
Yeah, when you need to come back, when you need to push some sort of comeback, you don't put kicks in like that. They should have been putting it down low on the grub, or maybe could have forced an error, or, you know, maybe even got a try, a repeat set. But no, put it high. I don't think the high kick was ever on in that situation.
Yeah, and it certainly wasn't on if he put it that deep. I mean, maybe bring it back a few meters and you could see something maybe working there, but just a disappointing end there from Hellier. He's definitely had a mixed bag of a game, and he'll be kicking himself over that one. As Hemi Tapua takes it off 15 meters out, the Swarm, well, if they score here, it's definitely game over. This will put a nail in the coffin if they were able to put something on the board here. Hugh Snow playing the ball. It'll go out to Rossini. Send it out to Tapua, who puts the bomb up. There's a contest in the air, but Dylan Murray is able to gather that one up. And the Firehawks, this is probably it. Oh, an interesting pass. Hell yeah. Oh, very close to the sideline there. The Firehawks, they just haven't looked themselves today.
You know, they really haven't. I would have expected a bit more from a couple of their players. I think Dom Ponks has probably been their most dangerous, but even him probably having a quiet day for what his standards are. I think a couple of their forwards, been quiet. Molly Carrigan have had a couple good moments, but he's also, been a bit lacking, as that's another poor kick, this time by Joseph Jackson, and that might just rule him out from coming back now. It's going to be too hard.
Yeah, well, that's really not ideal from Joseph Jackson there. He actually might have been, I was talking about Hellier putting the kick in. It might have actually been Joseph Jackson. So I apologize if it was. But Christian McKay, short ball to Philly. He's got some speed on him. The Swarm now, with only 2 minutes left on the clock, or just around that. Hemi Tapua, he's had a decent game. He pushed his way over, but on his back. They're going to send it upstairs. I'm not really sure why. It looked like a clear held up. And he sends it up, no try. Maybe just double checking. And yeah, that's clearly a no try.
It's a good run there by Hemi Tapua, but I'm lucky not to get the ball down.
Far Philly. He meets Hellier, and I think that's... Actually can't make out who that is. Don Ponkston, the fullback, that is, making the tackle. Tapua puts it on the toe. Dylan Sharp with a bonus zone try. And that is it. The Swarm have won the SRL Mines Grand Final. It's a beautiful performance, and Tapua just sums it up with a nice little kick there. Great try.
Oh, what a kick here by Hemi Tapua. I want to point out that it started from a really good hard run by, I think it was Money Lily. I probably butchered that name. Apologies about that. But they managed to get a good play the ball there. Goes back to Hemi Tapua. And a beautiful play scrubber kick for Dylan Sharp.
It was very good. And what do you know? The Swarm. They have absolutely dominated the Firehawks in this game. I could not have guessed this would happen out of 100 chances at the scoreline. I mean, the Firehawks, they have just been shut out of this game. Maybe it's because of themselves. Maybe it's a bit of the Swarm. Maybe it's a bit of both. But yeah, this has just been an insane performance from the Swarm, and the Firehawks, they're unable to complete that perfect season.
Yeah, well, look, I'd say if anything, it's a fail season, considering what they were doing in the regular season. Current here, and they haven't even got any points. They have not looked themselves at all, and it's just been too easy for the Swarm. And well, just like that, they are looking very, very strong, and looks like they'll go out as SRL Mines champions.
Yeah, well, I have a question for you, Lachlan. Do you think this game, I mean, pretty much every player in the Firehawks team is looking to get picked up in the draft. I mean, does this change your approach to drafting? I mean, they've looked very bad in a really big game, the Firehawks.
I think it does, to be honest. I think there are some players over there that may have been first-round picks, could move down to second-round picks, and if you were a second-round pick, maybe you don't get picked up at all now. I mean, team captains want to know that their players are going to be performing on the big stage. Every captain wants to win a premiership. If you choke on the big stage, that could affect whether people want to pick you anymore. It's all great and good to be good in the regular season, but if you can't perform on the biggest stage, what's the point?
Yeah, well, I also think that man who's put it dead, I mean, that's his second bad kick, but he has stood up in the big moments. I think his stocks go through the roof coming into the draft. And that's it. It's game over. The Swarm have beaten the Firehawks 19 points to 0 here at Accor Stadium in Sydney. It's a great job there from the Swarm. They have defied all odds. And the Firehawks, that picture sums it up. They are very disappointed.
Yeah, look, you can see it on their faces. But I think those celebrations from the Swarm are just the fact they took down, the big guns off the Firehawks. It's also the fact that this performance is well and truly put all 9 of those men, those wonderful players on the field, into selection in the draft. Massively up their stocks. Hemi Tapua's one man. I think he's my man of the match today. I think Aaron White and Manu Fafali'i, he's someone else that I think is going to be looking at it. I think his stocks are potentially going up to round 1 pick from a round 2 pick from that performance. And it's just been incredible performance by the Swarm.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Obviously, Philly, White, and Sharp all grabbing tries in that game. They are the try scorers for the match. Tapua also had a very good game. I want to know how many try assists Hemi Tapua had. It feels like he was involved in everything. Yeah, he had 1 try assist. Rossini was the other 2. I feel like Tapua had an amazing game. 128 run meters, 8 tackles, 0 miss. That's impressive for a half, and 3 line breaks. It's a great performance from Hemi Tapua. He is also my man of the match.
Yeah,
I think Manu of Philly also had a good one.
I think it's even more impressive. You know, we mentioned before the game that it sort of should be, if you really want to, you know, in the nines form, if you really want to do good, you've got to go up the middle. You can't be looking out wide. Most of the time, the wingers were pretty good defensively, and I think that was even so in this game. And I think we saw that. I think the Firehawks tried to use the outside backs a lot more. Don Ponxa was finding success, but that was really the only one. Where the Swarm, you know, you had Manu Fahali going up the middle, Charlie Rosany, Logan Schmidt, and Hemi Tapua just leading them around the middle. You know, he does usually play out the back, but I think today he sort of changed his game plan, sort of going up the middle instead. You know, sending his forwards up the middle rather than his outside backs, and I think that really did win them the game today.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, the Firehawks, they just seemed completely out of it. Kerrigan had a good game, 176 run meters, but other than that, the rest of their players just didn't really do anything. I mean, 9 line breaks from Milo Kerrigan. I think that's the most for the match. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it is the most for the match. But yeah, just really bad performance from the Firehawks. I think they just didn't make enough meters out of their own end.
You have to agree with you. I think Milo Kerrigan tried to carry his team into a premiership, but it just wasn't good enough, you know. I think Daniel Hellier will have a night to forget. He did not do much of anything, if I'm completely honest here. I think he went to outside. I think the opposite of Hemi Tapua. He sort of went outside wide a lot. You know, I guess Dylan Murray sort of got a couple run meters with it. Don Pong still worked with it, but overall it really didn't work. Milo Kerrigan was just taking help through the middle, and he was the one finding space. So I think lessons to be learnt there for the Firehawks, but it could be some costly lessons, if anything.
Yeah, it certainly will be, and it may be for a lot of these players the final lesson they will learn in the mines before a lot of them get picked up on, is it Sunday, the draft?
It'll be sometime next week. Date yet to be confirmed as we are recording this, but it'll be sometime within the next week, yes.
Yeah, so they're going to be, they may have played their last match, and I think a few of these Firehawks players will be pretty disappointed that's the way they're going to finish in the mines. A few of them will stick around for another season, but it's been a great night, Lachlan, especially for the Swarm.
Has been a great night. Keep in mind, tomorrow night we'll have 2 amazing matches: the Australian v World Commissioners 13, plus the obviously plus the grand final. So some big games tomorrow night too. So it's gonna be an amazing week. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, those matches will be an absolute beauty. I personally am really looking forward to the SRL grand final between the Raiders and the Cowboys. I've been your host, Jack Carl, joined by Lachlan Martin, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.